Good afternoon, dear colleagues. The subject of our presentation is Augmented and Virtual Reality Technologies in Teacher Retraining. Technology has been growing fast and noticeably influencing different aspects of life, such as education. Studies have revealed that augmented reality and virtual reality have strong potentials for helping students to improve their skills and knowledge. In fact, bridging R, VR, and education can bring teaching and learning experiences in an attractive and effective way. Augmented reality is an interactive experience of a real-world environment where the objects that reside in the real world are augmented by computer-generated perceptual information, sometimes across multiple sensory modalities, including visual, auditory, haptic, somatosensory, and olfactory. R allows combining and superimposing real objects with information and with virtual objects. R defines as a system which has the following properties: combines real and virtual objects in a real environment, runs interactively and in real time, registers, aligns real and virtual objects with each other. At the same time, the augmented information may not be limited to the sense of sight, but may also be applied to all senses, such as hearing, smell, and touch, supporting a variety of ways of preparing, acting, and many ways of engage students in the learning process makes R a promising educational strategy. Virtual reality is a popular information technology area that provides an indirect experience by creating a virtual space that interacts with the human sensory systems and overcomes spatial and physical constraints of the real world. According to research in USA, almost 80% of teachers have access to virtual reality devices, but only 6.87% use them regularly in the educational process, wherein 97% of students would like to study a VR course. Mixed reality is the merging of real and virtual worlds to produce new environments and visualizations where physical and digital objects coexist and interact in real time. Mixed reality does not exclusively take place in either the physical or virtual world, but is a hybrid of reality and virtual reality, encompassing both augmented reality and augmented virtuality via immersive technology. Extended reality includes virtual reality, augmented reality, mixed reality, and similar means of immersion. Areas of R and VR application in education is depicted in figure. The vast majority, 86% of respondents to the 2019 Augmented and Virtual Reality Survey report agreed that by 2025, XR technologies will be as ubiquitous as mobile devices. The purpose of the research is the theoretical justification for the use of augmented and virtual reality technologies in the educational process and the development of a blended course using the technologies of augmented and virtual reality in the practice of modern educational institutions for retraining teachers. The tasks are to analyze of main features and the benefits of technologies of augmented and virtual reality, to find the attitudes of teachers to use augmented and virtual reality in education, development of a blended course using the technologies of augmented and virtual reality in the practice of modern educational institutions for retraining teachers, implementation of the blended course in the order to form the professional competencies of teachers in the field of information and communication technologies. In order to increase the level of professional information and communication technologies competences of teachers in the communal higher education establishment, Kherson Academy of Continuing Education of Kherson Regional Council and at Kherson State University, the blended course using the technologies of augmented and virtual reality in the practice of modern educational institutions was developed. The objective of the blended course is to prepare teachers in the system of continuous pedagogical education for the use of augmented and virtual reality technologies in everyday and professional activities, generalization, systematization and exchange of experience, raising the level of their professional mastery using digital technologies. The target group of the course is teachers of different categories and specialities who see the potential of AR and VR technologies in education, striving by modern technology to minimize the digital divide between teachers and students, to improve the quality of education and the motivation of object of educational activity. As a result of studying the course, the teacher should know the concept types and possibilities of using augmented and virtual reality technologies in the professional activities of teachers, the purpose and basic functionality of the platforms for creating augmented reality, Futuria, Quiva, Blipar, Velime, programs and algorithms for creating marker augmented reality, methodological features of using augmented reality technology in the context of ordinary, flipped, blended, and distance learning. As a result of studying the course, the teacher should be able to apply ready-made augmented and virtual reality projects in education, create augmented reality with the tools, apply augmented and virtual reality technologies in the organization of educational and extracurricular activities. The program is based on the principles of scientific, systematic, accessibility, practical orientation, taking into account the experience of introducing courses of the study of digital technologies in educational institutions of various types, as well as the needs of students of continuing education courses, taking into account their professional and digital competencies. A scheme of a blended course using the technologies of augmented and virtual reality in the practice of modern educational institutions is depicted in figure. The program includes the following training models: full-time model, general information on augmented and virtual reality in education; distance model, creating an educational project using R; independent work; credit model, individual project of each teacher. The training course is practice-oriented and therefore the predominant part of the time is devoted to the practical work of teachers with augmented reality applications, modeling and designing of the training project, creation, design, filing, optimization. Tasks for independent work are focused on self-study of the course, adding your own information resources, search for ways to implement educational projects using augmented and virtual reality technologies in the context of the traditional educational process or the introduction of flipped learning. The course was held for 198 students of continuing education courses, teachers of the Kherson region, Ukraine, the teachers of mathematics and computer science, primary school teachers, Ukrainian language and literature teachers, teachers of biology, physics, chemistry, and history. To identify teachers' readiness to support and implement augmented and virtual reality technologies, the questionnaire was developed in Google Forms. Figure shows the responses of teachers about the level of digital technology ownership. The sufficiently large number of teachers have skills of using information and communication technologies in the educational process. The level of awareness of teachers about augmented and virtual reality technologies turned out to be quite high. This is evidenced by the answers presented in a figure. 24.2% of respondents have an idea of both technologies, and also 48.5% are familiar with at least one of them. It should be noted that augmented reality technology is more popular among teachers than virtual reality technology. Among the main reasons for this, the prevalence of smartphones and tablets, lack of needs for additional equipment, increasing distribution of software with support for augmented reality. The results of a survey of teachers showed a high level of motivation to study created course. For different groups of teachers, topics of projects using augmented reality were selected that correspond to the disciplines they teach. So, for teachers of elementary school environmental studies, astronomy, it was proposed to use ready-made augmented reality projects based on Octagon Studio's live introduction cards. Flashcards Space 4D Plus allow you to study the properties of space objects such as solar system, planets, satellites, etc. Among similar applications, Octagon Studio also includes tools for studying the structure of the human body, professions, animals, etc. Augmented and virtual reality technologies are widely used in the implementation of STEM projects. Practical work on studying the tool for developing educational objects of augmented reality of the Blipar mobile application and the Blip Builder web service involved the creation of interactive cards. As a final work, students were invited to develop a project that provides for the creation of an interactive laptop with elements of augmented reality and to develop a lesson summary using augmented reality technology within the chosen discipline. Analysis of scientific publications allows us to define the concept of augmented and virtual reality, its types, directions of using augmented and virtual reality in education, examples of its application in the educational process. The developed course using the technologies of augmented and virtual reality in the practice of modern educational institutions for the retaining of teachers allows the formation of professional information and communication technologies competences of teachers. The results of the pedagogical experiment showed a high level of motivation of teachers to study and use augmented reality technologies in the educational process. Thanks for your attention.